Let's go.
Baseline.
Episode 117.
They tried to put up a good fight. They weren't strong enough.
You gotta turn yourself down a little bit.
All right, there it is. How about now? How about now?
I gotta wait till you go.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. How about now?
Man, welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential. Man, talk to me again, P.
How about now, man? How brother voice sounding now, brother?
Let me go back to make sure because listen, spring man, shit acting up today, boy. I tell you.
Cutting all the way up.
Trying to act up today. They had us coming in here late like we wasn't going to make it. Say it one more say, how about now? One more time.
How about now, brother? How about now?
Yeah, you good to go. You good to go. Yep.
Third week in a row, I didn't even touch it. It just keeps
now
going,
you going louder again. Now you going louder again. You changing your voice. You just don't realize that you change it.
Oh,
when you go first, you going, how about now? How about now? That's loud. You know what I mean?
I'm too grown to changing my voice, man. I don't change my voice, man.
I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean you trying to have it melodious. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and talk to him. Start the show, man.
Hey, y'all. All I'm going to say is welcome back, y'all. I mean, like I said, man, Merlin had to come out today, y'all. You know, apologies for the late start. But, you know, I'm so glad that you're here. You know, just jump right into it. You know, it's kind of like double dutch. We're a little bit behind, but
swing to the USA. Hey, rock to the treetop all day long, puffing and singing that song. Look, who coming back with the shades on fleek. Remember they used to say on fleek a few years ago. It's the Porch Podcast, man. This is episode 117. Wi-Fi.
Yo, so where did that come from, man? Where did that word fleek derive from? We first off, am I saying it right? Fleek, F-L-E-E-K, or
we old, man. That's we old. They don't even use that word anymore. That word came in,
man. I know.
And now
it
was spooky. It hit it with the, you know what I mean, order.
Man. We don't know.
Yeah,
hey,
I know the women used to say their eyebrows was on fleek. You know what I mean?
Right. So we need one of the sisters or somebody to jump in and tell us what fleek means.
Right. Hey, what's up, Unc? I see you, Unc. You know what I mean? So,
Unc, what's happening with you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. You know, welcome to another episode, y'all. You can see, man. In case you didn't know,
117.
This is 117, baby.
Let's go ahead and clap it up. Yeah.
Roll it right along. Mm-hmm. You know, just like the show, for all intended purposes, we wanted to run smoothly. But life sometimes can make it a little bit of a challenge.
Right.
You know, we get comfortable and we start, you know, feeling, how can I say, not lazy, but when you've got these electronical things that kind of take off and make us a little bit more, how can I say, man, reliant upon them. When they don't
Monty said it means his own point. That's what Monty said. Let's clap it up for Monty.
Monty, appreciate you. Thank you for the clarification. I was getting ready to say we become complacent, right? And we get to relying on these things, you know. And yet every time there's going to be that moment,
right,
where that human element,
right,
needs to be present. And I'm just so glad that the Porch Podcast has a brother on the staff by the name of Merlin.
When you hear the name Merlin, you think of something
now what
beautiful.
we're looking for is we're going on Indeed to find somebody who can control the buttons.
You hear birds chirping. No, it was part of the show, sir. You hear birds chirping. It's beautiful. Sound. You hear the magical sound. Okay. You know what I mean? Peace, EQ. Peace, bro. I see you doing your numbers.
What's happening with you?
See you running around, DJ EQ Mason. Let's clap it up for him right now, y'all.
That's right. Laughing and clapping. Yeah. looking. We on the
I
look
hit
for
the wrong
somebody to push
button.
the
Yeah,
buttons, man.
somebody got to push the buttons.
100,
I'm messing up.
117 weeks, and he still can't get the buttons right.
But
117 weeks,
he
man.
can fix all technical difficulties. Let's go ahead and say that. How
I
like that?
guarantee you, it ain't 117 buttons on that thing. You could have learned one button per episode.
Yeah, whatever. So
DJ,
listen, man. So
what's going
listen.
on, brother? What's going on?
Today's
Talk to me.
episode is called Wi-Fi. If those who don't know.
Absolutely.
And today I was thinking about this certain situation, calling it Wi-Fi, because, as we all know, Wi-Fi is a wireless connection.
Absolutely.
I think in our own way, when we're all born with our own type of IP address to understand what we're connected to and what we're going to be dedicated to.
Mm-hmm.
But not to make it a long, drawn out thing. From some things that happened this week, and I'm going to make it people understand and see that is I said last week that I wouldn't be here on this Tuesday, correct?
You sure did. Got the shades on too.
I
Yeah,
got the
rock 'em.
shades. Yeah, I said I would not be here
Right.
next week.
Right.
We was gonna do the show Monday. I was supposed to
Absolutely.
go to a conference. However,
Yeah.
that conference played me, right?
Oh man.
And I'm here where I really
Oh,
belong
that's right.
on the
That's
Porch
right.
podcast on the Tuesday, going live.
It stay lost, man. It stay lost, brother.
But what it made me realize and understand was this.
What's that?
Every time with Wi-Fi, when we share that Wi-Fi connection with another device,
Right.
that other one tends to get a little weaker.
Oh. Okay.
And every time we add a new device on,
Right.
the connection gets weaker and weaker from the original thing that was connected first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's been my experience.
Right? Okay. So, I realized as I focused more on my 9 to 5,
Okay.
my connection with the Porch Podcast, Influence Entertainment, and as much as y'all still see us, we've never missed an episode, and I'm always DJing, right? I'm blessed.
Absolutely.
But I can give it more attention.
That's
I
right.
realized that I had the order wrong. I had it right. Being a star and being in entertainment was my first connection that I wanted to have. But when I turned into Waterworld and stayed connected with that connection got lighter.
Mm.
But I think I started to shift too much of the connection to the, not the wrong side, but the side I really didn't want it to.
Yeah.
And just make a long story short, I'm connected. I'm back to where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I need to be.
So
Now,
it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
as
ahead.
we use the word Wi-Fi, I'm using
Right.
this little short synopsis or whatever I do, whether I'm wrong or not, whatever the word I say. I'm just telling y'all, whatever you supposed to have your focus on and your Wi-Fi strongest connection with, do that, man.
I'm gonna give you a little fun fact history on it. I mean, you can go and research some of this stuff yourself. But I wanted to know, when did Wi-Fi, like, when was it created? First off,
Right.
Wi-Fi, the meaning of it, and it's funny because I did some research on it. It's not really an acronym. It's actually one of two words. It could be two different words, right? It could
Right.
be either wireless fidelity,
Yeah, Wi-Fi, yeah.
okay, or wireless fiber. You know what I mean? Now, most of the time, you ever heard about fiber, fiber optics and stuff running through wires and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But those are where, is commonly understood or could possibly can be considered when you think about
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi.
yeah.
So then I did a little bit more research, and it's an actress, man, actress who actually created something that led to the development, right, of Wi-Fi. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Her name was Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy
And
Lamarr.
Hedy, ooh, I don't know if it's the shades or what, man, but I could tell. I
Yeah.
almost read your mind.
No,
But Hedy Lamarr,
Hedy Lamarr.
and George Anthony. They successfully received a patent for the idea dealing with Wi-Fi in 1942. Now
Damn.
think about that. That was 10 years, right? before mom and pop, man.
Right.
They were already getting the patent then, right?
For
For
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, but it wasn't recognized until many years later when an updated version was used during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962.
10 years after mom and pop was here.
Right, right. So it's funny that we talk about the connections of things and how if you put too much on the server or too much on the modem and
Mm.
all those different things, how we can start to, reduce the strength.
Right.
Well, I think that like we talk about all the time, that applies to us in general in life, right? When we put too much on our plate, we tend to reduce the ability to have strength, right? To be able
Right.
to cover all of these different things.
Right.
So it's so funny because we talk about often how we're wired. I'm wired differently. And literally, if you think about Wi Fi, wireless fidelity or wireless, fiber, we talk about all the time how we're hardwired.
Speak on it.
Right. So when you sit there and you think about it, right, you think about it like the best Wi Fi connection, just using this. What is generally the best connection? I'll take this back. Internet connection,
Mm.
right? What is the best internet connection? Like when you're into the network of what is going on. That's all internet is, into the network.
Ethernet.
Ethernet, right? Which is
Yeah.
more commonly known as a hard line.
Hard like
Pause.
hardwire. Yeah.
Yeah. Pause. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
It's wired directly into the source.
Right.
Think about any time that you ever have a lot of problems or ever trying to deal with some difficulties. Isn't it generally when you're working away from something and you got more and more and more on your plate?
Yep.
And when you're dealing with that one thing directly, you see how much stronger that situation is?
Like the wired on a mic and a wireless mic. I know
Come
exactly
on.
what you're saying.
Come on. Come on. So I just wanted to put them fun facts out there to let it be known. First and foremost, the patent was in 1942,
42.
but it wasn't updated, you know what I mean, until and actually publicly recognized until 1962. So here we are in 2023, and we acting like, Wi-Fi was just a new amazing thing, but it's been around
Since
80
boom,
years.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
1942. I made my
Yep.
own version. I made my own version.
Exactly.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's that, man.
45, 47.
But you know what, though, man? On another note, we do have to acknowledge the fact that the reality that, like anything else in life, Wi-Fi just being the thing that we're talking about, it's done some amazing things, man. It
Yes.
has opened up some opportunities and created different lanes for people. It has, put you in places where, you may not ever physically be, but, just to think about anything that you can do wirelessly. Like if somebody told you you could do something wirelessly, it automatically gets my attention right from the jump.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like remember we was little E, your first little remote control car, man. When I'm talking about when you was little,
And
it had
that
a
bitch was
wire.
it had a wire on it, yeah. And it
Yeah,
just had up and
you ain't
down, left, right.
up and down, left, right, and it
Yeah.
can only go as far as you wire.
Right.
Then we got a little bit older. We got our first little train tracks and stuff like that, little race car tracks, bro. We put that together, and then we found out you had to learn how to be able to put the car on there, build your own tracks, squeeze the button, radio frequency, and it would take off. And it was a beautiful thing. Well, I think as life went on, like we're talking about with the whole situation, how we become dependent upon these things, no matter what goes on in our life, man, you can't handle everything at one time. You can't
No.
overload you. You can't overload your server.
Bro.
Can't overload your
And-
modem. And you
right.
need to be getting back to, like you said, E, when you said you got back to the grind or back to your original space.
Right.
I think the closer you play to that, man, the happier you're gonna be with life.
And that's the thing. And just to connect to what you saying, like that was a valid point how you were saying that everything was strong when it was hardwired. Because anytime you hardwired, you have to be glued in more to it because you're connected to it. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you're like one. You can't go but so far with it. If you pay attention to the most important things in life, there's still a lot of hardwired things too. For example, if you got a car, they ain't create no wireless gas can.
Come
Like,
on, man.
you know what I mean? Or for you to pump gas and you can listen the line long. I can grab this one and take this pump over here and still get no. It
Hey,
still
I was
got
just
it. It's
confused for half a second, man. You can grab this one over here and take this one. If you just took one word out of each part,
pause. Pause.
each part, You
Nah,
took one word
come on,
out
man.
of each one of those parts. You would almost think that you was watching, you know, something on HBO after 2 a.m. or something. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Porn
You
up,
know what I
huh?
mean?
Okay, that's what you saying. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Netflix got it. Netflix got it. What's the name on that though, man?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, a
Oh,
little
what?
documentary on it. Little
Oh yeah,
documentary.
yeah. I seen that documentary. I mean, I ain't see it, but I seen the
Nah.
trailer. The
All
trailer. I'm
right,
gonna watch
man.
it.
No,
No, I'm
it's
gonna
and
watch
it's
it.
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
watching it
it's
when it
all
come
right.
out. It was interesting because them
Hey,
people start losing their money or some shit, right?
I didn't watch it yet, but I'm going
Oh,
to.
all right. So now that you
I'm
done
like
broke it,
you. I don't have no problem with keeping it real. Hey, but remember, man.
yeah,
Remember 10, 15 years ago, man, you would deny that to the end. Nah,
that you was watching flicks.
I ain't going. I'm just
Nah,
talking about the actual Netflix thing.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like anything associated with it, because
yeah.
you know, it's just what we would do, man.
Not me 10, 15 years. I ain't denied. No, not 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, you was with it,
Maybe
public
20.
information.
Yeah, maybe 22 years ago. Some shit like that.
Okay. Right
Yeah,
beyond get to feel. I
yeah.
got you.
What's going on today? What is going on?
It's a great day in the neighborhood. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something though. Another
What?
note though, the whole situation dealing with the Wi-Fi thing. Just talking
Yeah.
about how quick stuff can move and the internet and all those things. Like I told you, man, there's some good things that have come out of it as well. One thing I had just read recently, the weekend,
The singer or
the singer, the
yeah.
performer.
Okay.
I don't know if he guess he's a
The
singer.
artist. The artist.
There you go, E.
The
The
artist. The
artist.
weekend.
Weekend is
Yes.
officially the
Recording
GOAT.
artist.
He is officially the GOAT, at least according, I'm just quoting this verbatim, y'all. According to the folks at Guinness World Records, whose data shows he's officially the most popular artist on the planet. The Weeknd just broke 2 new records on Spotify. One for most monthly listeners in Spotify history by breaching the 111 million mark, and another for being the first artist to breach the 100 million monthly listeners mark in general. He broke those 2 records, man. So they're calling him officially the GOAT based on that, Guinness World Records. That's what they use to determine who the GOAT is.
Right.
Remember, man, this is built on data. Okay, this is built on data. This is not built on, what you like.
Yeah,
Or
I don't
what you
agree with.
don't
I don't
like.
agree with that shit. Listen.
I mean, maybe he is the greatest of all time if you go statistically.
Yeah, well, he probably the greatest of all time in their eyes from when it comes to streaming. Particular,
That's what I'm
you know
saying,
what I mean? Yeah,
right?
but but nah, I don't give a damn about that. He's a great artist.
Yeah,
He's a great artist, but the way they wrote that is what made you lock in and wanna read the article itself. You know what I mean?
absolutely. But okay, so other than actual data, what would determine who an artist is or GOAT is of something would be a person's personal opinion, right? Or their personal preference.
The word "the goat" is such a big term because you can't compare a person to be the greatest of all time in that aspect. Yes, but you gotta look at people like Michael Jackson and James Brown and big artists back in the day where streaming wasn't such a big deal. Their core fans ain't streaming; they still pulling out the 8-track and riding down the street in the Cadillac. You understand what I'm saying? Because
True.
let's just think about it. If you had a lot of older folks who really understood the capabilities of streaming, they're not going to even get subscriptions to stream because they still got the 8-track and the bitch better not have to touch it, or they still got the record.
Yeah.
I'm being silly with the 8-track, but they still got the vinyl, and vinyl still plays. It's right here behind me. Right here. See it? It's right here in my face.
I get it. I get that part. Yeah, I get that part.
So I get what they're saying, but it's a good fun fact when it comes to streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's based on, like I said, bro, personal opinion. When you start talking about, like, we talk about Big, we talk about Pac, we talk about the big guys. I mean, God bless so many, rest in peace. They're not here though, so you can't, you got to deal with the actual factual. You know what I mean? Like, Mike ain't here,
but I
ain't streaming.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is to say somebody's the greatest of all time, based off what you just using the data of here is you doing there. That word "goat" was just used to get a person to read the article, but he owns the record. That story could have been wrote a different way. Could have said The Weeknd breaks 2 records in the Guinness World Records, or the Weeknd is the new record holder of this. You get what I'm saying? But when you use the term, in my opinion, I'm talking about the terminology of the GOAT.
Got you. Yeah.
When you use the word the GOAT, that's the greatest of all time. Okay, till last month, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the leading scorer of all time. He held that record, but Mike still came up in the question of being the GOAT, and he was number 5 on the list. See what I'm saying? So
because it's personal preference.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the person who wrote that article used the terminology of the GOAT. But yes, that's a beautiful record that's set by him. Clap it up by him.
Yeah, it broke 2 records. 2 records. And like I said, this is in the Guinness book. This is Guinness Book of World Records. So,
right. Now, the question I wanted to ask you, because you had brung up the show on Pornhub. On Netflix called about the Pornhub people. Excuse us, that's what it was about. But is there any new shows, bro, that you watching? I know a lot of BMF had its finale. We can tap into that in a second. Ghost started back. You know what I mean? But is there any new TV that you're into right now that I don't have? Really nothing myself. I'm just trying to figure out. Is there anything that you get a view of from time to time?
Nah, right now my main thing dealing with any TV right now, bruh, is I'm trying to do as much research on what I'm trying to break into as possible.
Right.
The whole thing with shows, I mean, I'm attached to the feeling of enjoying the show with my wife. Right. Let's do that.
Right.
And in most cases, man, we both got, like I'm quite sure you and every other household, multiple schedules.
Right.
So what winds up actually happening is that, I don't really start to get into too much of anything differently, because I just say, look, whenever we can connect, we're going to get into whatever we've been watching. And whenever we actually, aren't together and I'm doing some research, that's when I'll focus on that kind of stuff. So now, to be honest with you, I mean, I got a few of them that I got marked that I want to go and check out, but I haven't locked into anything recently, no.
Now, you answered that exactly the way I wanted you to. Because I knew that was going to be, as crazy as it sounds, I knew that was going to be an answer, everybody. I knew that my brother was going to sit there and say how he's attached to the show, because he looks at it as a pastime with his wife. But what makes it great is touching on the subject of Wi-Fi. Because of Wi-Fi, we get to stream, and you just touched on the records and stuff that the Weeknd has set for for streaming, and what they say, listen to in the same hour. I mean, that same month, the most streamed artist that month or something they were saying, or something like that.
First artist to reach the 100 million,
111 million mark, right?
111 million mark. Yep, for breaching that,
right.
for reaching the listening to too.
And
right. General in marking general.
So where I wanted to touch on all that is I followed up with the shows, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I followed the shows. I knew you were going to answer that way. But see how beautiful with Wi-Fi and streaming, how that's set. Now, you and your wife may not get that time to watch a certain show you want to see until you guys get away. Yep. Now, remember back in the day, if you didn't watch it when HBO showed it or when it was in that season, you couldn't see it.
Now you missed it.
Yeah. So it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful that Wi-Fi, because you could do this on your phone, your tablet, with everything. You know what I mean? You couldn't watch TV on the go. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Wi-Fi just makes it clear. It gives it that clearer connection.
Absolutely.
It gives you more of that vision of what you want to see. So that question that I asked you was a perfect way to respond, because what you was just showing me is my vision and my sight is not connected to those shows right now. When I even consider really most part watching the show that's on, let's see, streaming TV, outside of YouTube, outside of the research that I'm doing, I'm looking at it because of the past time that I think me and my wife would connect with that. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's just look at the growth of when you're focused on something, how it'll make you do things that you wouldn't usually do. Not saying anything negative or anything of that possibility, but it's certain shows, bro, you would probably never watch if you didn't watch with your wife, just like me.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't even probably consider trying to get in it. You get what I'm saying? Pause, but get into the show.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, make sure it's clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
make sure it's clear.
yeah. Wi-Fi for what? So I asked you. That's the reason why I asked you that question. You know what I mean? But I lined it up with the finales and the BMS because what it is what you showed me right there, what your Wi-Fi connection is to, what you dedicating your research is right now, and that's the kind of mental clarity that people need to grow to this. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right here. If you don't have, if you thinking about having something this summer, because it's the first day of spring. Let's clap it up for that right there. I'm gonna laugh at it too. Yeah, I'm gonna always laugh and clap.
We're taking applications, man. We're taking applications.
You know what I mean? So, and you need somebody to help plan it. Make it look good. I got the right company for you. Check it out.
Listen, whether it's your first or your 50th birthday, that 25 years of service, if not more, retirement party, or the day that you and the love of your life share vows to become one, let Front and Center Events take care of all of your event planning needs. Sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy the show, where they truly keep you at the front and center of it all. Make sure to check out their Facebook and Instagram pages at FNC Events. Head on over today and get that party booked. Back to the show. Absolutely.
Front and Center Events. Pete, take the camera right quick and talk to him because I got to fix some of them. Just taking it, keeping it 100. Talk to him.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Look, man, like we were saying though, about the whole connection thing, though. The beauty of evolution, like we keep talking about, is the ability to be able to now do things that you couldn't do before. But it's always that reminder. I'm telling you, man, it's always that reminder of what you're connected to. If you guys ever get a chance to check out this book, man, it's called Atomic Habits. I probably talked about it before, but it's written by James Clear. And this book, man, explains a lot of the reason why people don't do things that they need to do and why they overly extend themselves by trying to please, other people, basically, trying to please everybody. You know what I realized more than anything else is that most people who have a problem with accepting no have a problem with accepting change. A lot of goes on in our lives because we become so overwhelmed is because we don't know how to tell a person no. We don't know how to tell a person not right now. I'm focusing on this because we feel like we need to be the hero for everybody, and we overly extend ourselves, just like in Wi-Fi. We try to take on all of these different things at once, and before you know it, you get burnt out, just like anything else that's overwhelmed.
Right.
You get burnt out. You turn around, and the next thing you know, you talking about something. Well, I could have did this with the ease, but I'm tired all the time. Now I can't go and do this. Now I can't make this happen. Things that you would do that you don't do anymore because of the fact that you just flat out burnt out. And that's what happens when you extend the Wi-Fi, man. If you burn the connection out. You make it weak.
And that is, my friend, how you get off of powder. That's how it happens. That's exactly how it happens. You explain it.
I don't know. I know that we all got different things that we make mistakes in life. I was reading a little bit earlier, a little update on the situation. I guess Ja Morant finally returned back to the team, which is a great thing. And one of the things I heard that he did right from the jump was make sure he met with the coaches and the teammates and basically, had a conversation with them about, him being more accountable.
Well, what he basically did was he let go some of those extra devices for him to lock into what was important.
Yeah, reestablish a strong connection.
Right, that's it. That's all we basically going with everybody in this episode right here. You know what I mean? That's what everybody. This is everybody going to. You know what I mean? Fats, what up, my boy?
What's happening, brother? Thank you for tuning in. Nah, it's a great analogy though. It's a great analogy, and I told you before. Part of it is that I think we got this. Whether we do it unconsciously or consciously, I think we all have this moment in our lives where we realize, wait a minute, I'm not doing enough for myself.
Like Return of the Mac. That's why I think gave him the energy to create that song.
And it might.
Return of the Mac. That's why I'm singing it. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, because
once again.
What happens is Like for instance, right? You get up, you know what your day is going to consist of.
Right.
You know that life going to happen in a way. You're prepared for anything that goes, array in your own life.
Right.
That's not where your problems come in. You're prepared for changes. You're prepared for the all of a sudden things. You know when things go crazy? When something else goes wrong in somebody else's life.
Right.
It's not yours. You know what I mean? Your kids pick up the phone. Dad, I forgot to bring my lunch. It's just lunch, but in your mind, oh, they're gonna starve to death. My kid getting ready to pass out. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
just think that they ain't gonna be able to find them. They're gonna be laying in the
So
corner
you
somewhere
gotta
slumped.
so you alter everything to make sure they got lunch.
Well, you do exactly. So now, when you alter everything and you do that, now guess what you got to do? You got to take all those things that you were going to do and try to squeeze them into a different time frame, right? Which does what? Just weakens your ability to be able to handle the rest of the things, and then things become a domino effect.
Right.
The way that I believe, this is why I said what I said about the whole situation about like time where I would watch TV or just look for something new to get interested in.
Right.
It's not hard to find things to be interested in that's new. It's easy. Got sports going on. You got all kind of things.
Right.
What I realize is that I visualize myself being someplace else, right? In terms of just like career wise, all the things that I want to do with my life. And as entertaining as it is for me to go on BET Plus, nothing against that, or any of these other ones.
Just to
If
watch
I don't
something and go to sleep.
just to
It's
watch
not
something
what
and go to sleep or
it's
be
not what you want to do.
entertained,
Right.
I just said I'm at a place in my life where I'm not looking just for entertainment.
But what you did is you focused your connection, your Wi-Fi connection,
Exactly, bro.
and where you're visioning what you want to be. This is what I
Exactly.
mean. You know what I
Yeah, you're
mean?
right. Yeah.
It's not always about where you want to be in life too. It could be actually, and then we gonna get deep a little bit, hurt some feelings, but with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you ain't
Yeah.
got that same
Hey,
connection.
appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, bro.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate you.
My man Fats. Listen, you may not have to have that connection. You may not have that connection there, but you ever lose a connection with a person that you had a strong and don't know where it went wrong. Sometimes it seems like when women and women don't kill me.
Uh-oh.
I'm just
Check.
keeping it
No,
real,
no, no, no. Check the
right?
fiber optic. See, it's
When women,
showtime, baby.
it
It's
seems
showtime.
like sometimes when women have a friendship with a woman, and then it goes sour, they can tell you exactly what they didn't like, right? And then sometimes you'll see a man. You have men have a relationship,
Be careful.
right? I mean, with no,
Be careful.
as a friendship relationship type thing. Relationship. Okay, let me define relationship. Doesn't mean it's intimate and people are together and in relationship.
Absolutely.
Like it
My man.
means like any type of. I have a relationship with my pets. If I have a
Absolutely.
dog, you see what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely,
what I
bro.
mean.
No doubt. No
So,
doubt. I'm with you.
but when people, right, Fat. Sometimes people grow apart, right? But most of the time, it seems like when men, when they stop kicking with each other every day, they just grew apart. It wasn't nothing that happened. It could
Right.
be like, yo, I used to be around this dude every day. Then all of a sudden, we just wasn't around each other. We didn't know this was the last time we all was going to be kicking it together like this. And
Right.
if you ever notice, a lot of times when you look at singing groups and movies about singing groups and all that, it was always a moment why they shit went sour. Instead of the fact that men or women just grew apart from each other.
Yeah. 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 The
Is it
definition for
better?
the
Is it better for art for that when people are making it into a film for it to look like something had to go sour?
I agree. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's like they do things like first off, real quick, the definition for relationship, the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So it's
Right.
just from the perspective, like you're saying before, like, all right, remember how we were saying, like Fats was saying, sometimes people grow apart, right?
Right. Yeah.
Let me pose this question to you though, right, bruh? Like
Right.
just thinking about it, because I've considered this, but let me pose the question because I know I've entertained it with an answer from myself.
Right.
Is it easy to say sometimes that we grow apart when in all actuality we're growing the way that we were supposed to the entire time? It was just that part of it has come to a change, not even a conclusion,
Right.
but a change. Is it
Absolutely.
safer up to say that, in my opinion, I'm asking you the question, Do you feel like when those things come about, that is that you guys have actually grown apart, or that you guys are both growing, and it just happens to be traveling in a direction that's in
Opposite.
two different directions, opposite,
Yes, it's growing.
or just
Just differently.
just
Yeah,
differently.
yeah. No, I agree. It could be a person just growing. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's like the number one way that a lot of times people actually, if people want to call it growing apart, but or grow different, is career changes. You know what I mean? See,
Mm-hmm.
if people really look back, and this is why I said what I said about women and men, because sometimes if people look at women, right, they can
Mm-hmm.
tell you exactly where the relationship went sour, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then years later they'll turn around and fix it, and they'll talk about why it went sour 4 or 6 years ago. Not even 4 or 5, 4 to 6 years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they try to kick it, and they start kicking it with each other more as an adults, and they realize that they missed all this time. But guess what's crazy?
What's
The
crazy,
reason
bro?
why the relationship never connects and links all the way back, because during that time they've grown in so many different areas, and things have changed in so many different areas as positive growth. It wasn't nothing
Mm-hmm.
against them, wasn't nothing against them, but what it was is you were on the same, as people will say nowadays, wave at the time. Now, a lot of times when men grow apart from each other, as people want to use that terminology of growing apart, they might have worked with each other, then they might get new people that they with at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this. People meet new people at a job, right? Then you
Mm-hmm.
take the job, you take the people from the job,
Mm-hmm.
and you meshing with the people that you grew up with. And sometimes everybody just don't click.
They don't jive together. I
They
got
don't
you.
jive together. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing mad. They don't dislike that person or nothing. But everybody don't click. But then that bond that your original homie had grows more with the friend at work, because more time is spent into that relationship, because
Right.
they gotta go to work every day. They
Right.
don't see you every day. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas when you were a kid and you had certain responsibilities, you made time to make sure that we always meshed, whether it was about going to an event, going to parties, playing basketball, as kids playing video games. You remember when you was in cool, you be like, yo, he was my best friend in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
But then by third grade, y'all barely knew each other because y'all stopped being in the same class. It's little stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
No,
saying?
no, I agree.
And then, or
I
you
agree.
move from out the hood, but you have no reason to come back, and then somebody stays, but they don't ever come visit you in the suburbs, and you never come back and visit them around the way.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, absolutely. But the problem is, a lot of people believe that the Wi-Fi connection was lost, when all you got to do sometimes is reset the modem. That's
That's
all you
it.
got to do.
Yeah.
You know what
Sometimes,
I
like I
mean?
said, man, everything pretty much works in a circle. That's why we talk about like 360 degrees
Yeah.
and all these different things. Everything works in a circle. But like even with the concept, but like you said, Wi-Fi being basically, you know, wireless, like connections. Think about it, man. We walk around with supercomputers in our pockets every day.
Every day.
You know what I mean? And yet we still make a decision when the phone rings, and we can look at it and say, I don't feel like talking to this person,
Right.
and send them right to voicemail.
Right.
But we don't have that same ability to be able to turn around and say, I'm not looking at this Facebook notification.
There it
I've got to
is.
look at it. So
Right.
it's like we're always consistently making decisions on which way we want to use it, right? It's there.
Right.
What we want to give our attention to.
Right.
What becomes like
That's
more
it.
deserving of our attention. You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
And so when you start to see those things, like I said, if you're not paying attention, this is how I knew that it was deep.
Right.
They have a screen time
Yeah. Yeah.
way that you can be able to keep up with your
Yeah.
screen time.
Right. Yeah. I look at mine pop up every week. It get lower and lower.
Okay, great point, right? Now, mind you, that's a decision on your part
Yep.
because it was accessible to you the entire time.
The whole
The only
entire
way that you're
time.
not connected to that is if you choose to not have your phone with you, or you're just not dealing with it. Mel Robbins talks about it. I heard, like I said, James Clear. I read it. Other different people. Most of the time, when they tell you as far as stacking new habits and doing
Right.
different things, they'll almost tell you to put your phone in another room.
Oh yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard people turn around and tell people, this is how deep this is. I need to not focus on that so much that they have their friend, their husband, their wife, change their Facebook account password, username and password.
So they don't know it. So they don't know
So
their
they
own.
don't know it through the week and then gives them the new password and username at the end of the week. I'm not suggesting that people do that because that could end some relationships.
Right. Yeah, but nah, I
What I'm
don't.
saying is
They
it's a
needed
choice.
that. They needed that choice, and they needed that help, and it's where they locked in at. So first of all, let me explain where you're going at it with too. You know, not only does it give you screen time, it also gives you the time of. They break down the apps that you spend time in by categories,
Right.
whether it's music or this and this and that and this. So, you know, it's basically trying to break you from these distractions that may keep you away from what you doing. You know what I mean? So a
Absolutely.
perfect example is, man, where just to tap on what I was saying about friendships and stuff in the beginning. You know, I got a call from my homie back to elementary school, and he called me because he was telling me that his cousin passed and when the funeral was, and we was just kicking it for a while. I'm talking about the little whip freestyle on the mile. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know
Got
what I mean? Little
Got you.
me was it was crazy how it worked though, because you know sometimes you be chilling out the night before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't talked to him in a minute. You might talk on a Facebook post on the night before. I had a dream and he was in the dream, and we was at a banquet. He was at the banquet. And he was laughing at something, and I seen from distance, and I shook his hand. And I woke up. I
Right.
kid you not. About 2 hours later, he called my phone. So you got to see how crazy my mind was when I seen his name calling me on the phone.
Yeah.
I stopped and looked at it for like 5, 10 seconds, like,
Yeah.
yo, this
Yeah.
crazy. Am I still asleep? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Picked up the phone. Yo, the
Yeah.
conversation we left off like we was like how we was when the kids. He picked up. I said, "What's good with it, bro?" He said, "What's up with you, man? You know what I mean? What's going on?" We talking. I said, I just heard you playing criminology in the background, right? Raekwon criminology." He said, "Bitch,
Mm-hmm.
remember we was little, our parents was like, hold on, don't touch the radio, man. I gotta hear the Delphonics." He said, "Bitch, we got the Wu-Tang Clan."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yo, right there, I bust out laughing because that's how all our conversations all used to go.
Yeah. You're right. Nah. I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
and that just lets you know that even though the connection
Yeah.
may not have been something that you was using as regularly,
Right.
it was still just as strong as it's ever been.
Right. You see what
And
I'm
that's just
saying?
and that's why I say like even with the situation of understanding that you know there are some paths that you're going to travel that everybody can't go and everybody's not going to be somebody that you talk to regularly,
Mm-hmm.
but what I do know more than anything else is that when you generally want to change,
Right. You will.
you will.
Yep.
And bro, one of the greatest quote I heard: when preparation becomes a form of procrastination, it's time for change.
Right.
Everybody's always prepared to do something until they have to do something. It's just what it is. And so even when you got to turn around and you say to yourself, I don't need to consistently, and I'm not going to call it a waste of time when you go online and you're doing what you're doing on social media and stuff like that, because I understand that those are outlets. Sometimes it's a way to stay connected. Think about it. There's some people that I see on Facebook. Had I not seen them on Facebook, I
You wouldn't see
probably
them.
would never see them.
Right.
So I would never talk totally negatively about it at all.
But let me say this to piggyback. It's two things I want to know. But the first thing I want to piggyback off this, how we was sitting there and you were saying it's a choice, right? So
Hmm.
I was talking to my wife the other day and I said to her, I said, baby, you ever understand? And this was just a random thought that came to my mind. I said, we could be having the greatest day. Not meaning me and her, just us, the universal you, the
Universal
individual.
you. Got
Yeah,
you.
right? And
Hmm.
one thing could snap us in to frustration,
Wow. Just like it was never there.
right? Yep. Why can't we think one happy thought snap us back out of frustration?
Interesting. But you can.
But you can. You just have to choose to do it. That's exactly what it is. And if your mind frame ain't set on that, then people won't understand. Quick question. I just want to know. Did you watch the
Sure.
first episode of Ghost yet? It came back this week and just passed.
I'm quite sure you understand why.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
I'm, nah, not yet.
This is not telling the show. It's just a quote.
That's cool. I'm gonna
It's a
still watch.
Yeah, it's a quote. Yeah, but this is not telling the show. It
Gotcha.
was a quote, and they didn't say. They was in a classroom, and one of them made a quote that an author. You know how they usually do that open class when they be talking and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
with light
Clapping.
skin Keisha be in it. So
Hmm.
they said, somebody said, one author said that truth doesn't exist, only perception.
There you go.
And when that was said, I knew exactly what they meant.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I
Right.
explained this to somebody the other day. I said, think about this. Somebody might go on Facebook and make a post. Hey man, besides them stats, man, the weekend is the GOAT anyway. And somebody whose perception and understanding who loves the weekend will say, facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we stamping that is the truth, right?
Right.
But when we were
Right.
kids, we had that homework assignment, fact and opinion.
Yeah.
They would say, red is the best color. Opinion. You had to say opinion, right?
Yeah.
But
Wow. Yeah,
if you
it's funny.
say 2 plus 2 equals 4, we'll say fact,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it
Mm-hmm.
makes you believe that as coming up, the only things that are really truth are numbers,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
I agree.
right, the true are numbers. But at the same
Facts.
time,
Facts.
perceptions is what makes you feel something that's strongly true.
Wow.
So when they said it, I never really heard it that way, but
Right.
it made me understand like, yo,
Yeah.
the way you see things is what defines your truth.
Yeah. Now that's dope.
You
That's
know what I
dope.
mean?
But that.
So
But that's
all
dope.
since over the weekend when the show came out, just that line, it's just been in my mind all week. So it's like, you are what you believe you are. You can do what you believe you can do. That it's crazy because that's what they teach you in any of these religions that you live in, right? If that people may worship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that quote stood higher than almost anything I heard in a religion, like about truth.
Yeah.
But it
One that's
wasn't just the
crazy.
quote; it was the timing. That's what it
One that's been
was.
on my mind all week, man. I guess it's I don't even know because just how you say it is Proverbs what 18:16 something like that. I think that's how you say it.
Proverbs 18:16. Okay,
Okay.
if it's that number,
Okay.
but Proverbs is definitely a wisdom book. So,
Right. So the quote I'm talking about, though, or the scripture part is a man's gifts will make room for him.
yep,
Listen, man. Listen. I'm a wholehearted believer in that reality. To piggyback off of what you just said,
yep.
the reason why a lot of times things comes up is because of the fact that a lot of times what winds up happening, pardon me, y'all, the phone was ringing, but what happens is we get lost along the way, and as we're developing who we need to be and want to be, when we start to separate from what we once were, right? We don't know how to necessarily. I'm not gonna say we don't know how to. Those who are around us will always know how to accept that
Right.
because they don't know how to accept that you seem different. And to which I would tell anybody, you are different. But just remember, like I said, Proverbs 18:16 is that a man's gifts will make room for him. That reality is basically speaking to you to the point of you staying focused on who you are. So when you talk about perception and how
Mm-hmm.
you do things, remember the first person to ever view you in the light that you want to be seen in is you. Your gift is being able to do whatever you can do from a talent perspective and ability perspective in life. But if you don't even know how you're going to get there, you know, how do you even make the attempt to make that move? So a lot of that
So
stuff we talk about with connections and
yeah,
understanding people and growing apart and taking too much on and weakening the signal. it all came back to what you said very early in the show, bruh.
What's that?
Getting
Wi-Fi.
back to who you are.
Getting back to you, cause here's the thing: the exact words is a man's gift. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men.
Right.
So that's your key to opening certain doors.
Right.
So it's understanding your purpose and your gifts of what you have. So a perfect example of that. First of all, when you said Proverbs, I knew it was a wisdom book, and it was written by honestly, my favorite person in the Bible. Believe it or not, you know what I mean. The average person would be like, well, as if you never looked at it, you would right away just say Jesus, right? But
That's what you would suspect.
King Solomon
Right.
was the wisest king of them all,
Right.
right?
Right.
He also had the most women. I think it was 700 wives and 300 concubines, or reverse, whatever. 300 wives, 700 concubines. He had 1,000 women.
Wow. Rel, what up, Rel?
Hence the name of the old event back in the day,
Word. Wow.
King Solomon. The average person never understood that. I always knew what it meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was so popular and so loved, not for the amount. He was rich, but for his wisdom.
Absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
goes back to something that my brother just put. I don't know. Because it pops up on the YouTube. I don't know if you did it. Sometimes I can click right on it. If you did it yesterday, if it was a new one from yesterday or last week, but it was called self-awareness. Right? That you had self-awareness in the screen. Which episode? Which one was that? That was yesterday?
Which one? I'm sorry. Say it again.
Motivational Monday. You had self-awareness.
So self-awareness was yesterday. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying is for you to understand what your gift is, for you to understand your perception of things, it all starts with self-awareness.
Absolutely. That's where they came from. Just to put a wrap on that situation before we get into would you rather's. Absolutely, bruh. I'm gonna say this. The reason why it was so heavy on my mind, man, about that particular part of the Bible when it was stated, is because like we're talking about right now with the Wi-Fi connection and thing, we become so connected to life that we forget that we
What our
need
gifts
to be
are.
what our gifts are and what we needed to be doing and how to utilize it. That's what it's about more than anything else and where I'm taking it. That's where it's going really. You know what I mean? Victor Bone is going to a place where we got to understand that we all are talented, brother. Like we all have gifts. And where we go with those gifts is going to be fueled by us. Where the Wi-Fi connection element comes into the play on the whole concept of being wirelessly, locked into different things, is we don't even know sometimes, even though we're wirelessly, people are still connected to us.
Right.
People are still connected to us. Our things are still connected to us. And if we're not careful, we will begin to weaken ourselves and weaken what we want to do because we're busy trying to be who everybody else needs us to be.
Right.
Some of these things you got to cut the line, or sometimes you got to do like we was talking about earlier about the situation with screen time. You got to start monitoring that screen time. You got to stop making yourself so readily available to try to take on everybody else's situations, or even overly extending yourself trying to rewrite the script for yourself and not paying attention to the actual gift that you was born and blessed with.
Right.
And I think once you get back to it, that's why after you exhaust everything that you've ever tried in your life, and you tried this, you tried that, and it don't work out, you always revert back to whatever that thing that you love to do.
Right.
Whatever that thing is your passion that you would do for free, you always gravitate back towards that. And to me, that's just like hitting that hard reset on the modem.
Right.
So basically, that's what that is. Find that gift, tap into it. We
Right.
going with Would You Rather this week, brother.
Hey, would you rather me keep playing with the intro, or would you rather me go on and get to the show? Let's go.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Would You Rather, where I ask you a series of different questions, and I get answers. And they're all his. It's unscripted, okay?
That's right.
Would you rather have your thoughts? I mean, let me because that crowd right there, they go my man at the end. I'm finished. Would you rather have your thoughts be broadcasted out loud or have to hear everyone else's thoughts in your head? Wow, Wi-Fi.
Broadcast it
Wow.
out loud, man. I can't, cause you know why? Everybody, other people's opinions and thoughts and their perceptions sometimes intrigues it and sometimes take you off your path. But I do get to hear when they speak their mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't hear it when they think it, but they can hear me thinking.
Yeah, I mean, basically broadcasted. They're just gonna put it out there. It ain't
Yeah,
even so
so
much
so
they gonna have that connection.
whenever I brainstorm, they can hear that.
They're gonna know. They're gonna.
Oh, I'm cool with that. I ain't got
Yep,
no
they can
problem with
hear
that.
it.
I'm cool with that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, all right. Would you rather go on a biking trip with your family or a sailing trip with your family?
Biking. I like
Okay.
biking because what biking does, it gives you a little bit more of
A little
exercising.
cardio. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
cardio.
yeah. You know, sailing
Yeah,
is beautiful though. I mean, the vision in the sea and all that is there. You know, but there's a lot that's dependent on that. You know, the right wind and all that type of stuff. And I ain't the biggest fan of being out just surrounded by water where I can't get back if I need to on foot if I needed to. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. No, no, no. It's definitely a different type of trip. They're not the same. Would you rather have a pet rabbit or a pet kangaroo?
give me a rabbit. Yeah, give me a rabbit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because I know you're a traveling man. Either one of these could work well, but you got to
Right.
pick one or the other. Would you rather know all languages, like basically fluently,
Mm-hmm.
or know every subject fluently?
Languages.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes the things that they teach in subjects, it's good to know, but we don't necessarily use them all. That's why you got so many dropouts. Still find out a way to be able to become a millionaire because they learned how to speak, how to communicate in the right rooms. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
When we
Got
finish with this, I got something I had said this morning, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Would you rather ride a horse or a dolphin, Mister Ed or Flipper, brother?
Mr. Ed. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Ed. I've
Mhm.
you know,
Two for
I've
two. Two for two. Each stand on the land, y'all.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Nah, but I've also I don't know if I told you, but I did horseback riding in the third biggest jungle in the world, the Yucatan
Mhm.
jungle over in Mexico. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Would you rather be able to fly through the sky or have invisibility?
invisible, invisible.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Would you rather send all the mosquitoes in the world to die or send all the flies in the world to die?
get rid of them skeeters, man.
Yeah, I was about
Get
to say
rid of them
fly. You can
skeeters,
shoot them
man.
off. They
Yeah,
little ninja bugs, man. They sneak up.
yeah,
They bite you. You don't know
yeah.
till you scratch it.
Shit,
You know what I mean?
right, right.
Yeah.
Skeeters,
Yeah.
man.
No. No. I tend to agree with you. Would you rather fly in a hot air balloon or a helicopter, brother?
Helicopter.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. All right. All right. Would you rather only wear clothes that are decorated with pictures of hamburgers or clothes decorated with images of candy?
I'll go with the candy over the hamburgers, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Would you rather eat broccoli flavored ice cream or sausage flavored cookies, man?
What the? Give me broccoli flavored ice cream. Make me feel like I'm eating healthy.
Okay. Would you rather be a world famous pastry chef at a bakery or a talented chef at an expensive, fancy restaurant?
Talented chef at expensive fancy restaurant.
All right. Uh, all right. Would you rather eat only vegetables for the rest of your life or only fruit for the rest of your life?
If I gotta go between them, I'm gonna go with vegetables. Because if you eat too much of the wrong fruit, your sugar can go up. Can't eat too many bad vegetables, too many wrong vegetables.
Very good. Would you rather have a cool magic carpet that zooms around in the sky or your own personal robot?
A dirt bike. That ain't the answer. Yeah. Man, I'm not Aladdin, man. I don't need no magic carpet, man. Give me a robot, man. Tell you now, though, that robot try anything wrong, taking his batteries out. It's over for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you better hope it ain't one of them super joints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would you
Hope it
rather
ain't
be
Megan or Chucky or somebody.
right?
Yeah.
Or one
I
of them
would
joints
kill
from
both of them. I would kill both of them.
No,
I ain't
or
worried
one of
about.
them joints from iRobot.
Oh, nah. I ain't messing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little face for real type of joint. Yeah. Would you rather be the worst player on the team that always wins or the star player on the team that always loses? Yeah, you either gonna be sauced or the boss.
Star that lose, man. I can't be the sauciest dude on the team. Back to that iRobot. Don't he look like your imaginary friend? He look like he could be the way your imaginary friend look. When people was kids and they had imaginary friends, they look like the iRobot robot.
You gotta remember, man.
P, you drew your imaginary friend. It was the robot from iRobot. You drew him. You can draw.
For 116 weeks, you didn't lie, man. Don't break that streak, man. I did not have no.
So you're admitting? He's admitting, everybody. If I didn't lie on 116 episode, powder is part of his diet. That's what it is. Let's go ahead and clap it up for that.
That's what you talking about. I asked you a question about friends on another level. Would you rather have 20 good friends, right, or one best friend?
One best friend. Okay. 20 good friends can be expensive for your birthday.
Okay.
For their birthday, I mean. For their birthday. Okay. You know, somebody's just a good friend, you can buy them a drink.
Right.
But 20 beers or just one good gift for a person that's just your homie.
Hey, man. All right. Last one, man. We're going to end it on a money note. Would you rather have $1 million right now, or $1,000 a month for the rest of your life?
$1,000 a month for the rest of my life.
It is. That sounds like you're betting down or doubling down on yourself. You're going to live a long time. Take us out of there, brother.
That's absolutely. I'm going to live a definitely long time. That was another episode of Would You Rather. We're going to get back to the show because we're actually over time. So I just wanted to say this before we sign out, P, because this has been a great episode. I was explaining to somebody earlier today about learning, how we can learn, how we all learn the same, but don't realize we learn the same. You know how everybody say, oh, I got my own learning curve, right? Mm-hmm. But what it all boils down to is this. We learn by repetition and hearing. You know what I mean? Like when certain words coming up, certain forms of, of language, lingo, ebonics, anything you want to do, when they say certain words, well, that was dope. Like when we was kids and we hear somebody say that was dope, we knew in the contents they wasn't talking about smoking dope. We knew that something was nice.
That was a good thing, right?
Right. Right. So
different now.
But nobody taught us that dope meant that. If I was to learn Spanish right now, I would have to learn how to do, because we could just hear it over and over again and we knew. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But what complicates things when we're trying to learn is because now once we focus on trying to learn, we're trying to create so many things in our head that we're not just going around and listening. I'm actually studying Spanish on my phone, and it's words. There's a lot of words that I've learned and understand, and I keep learning by doing them over and over and over and over again, right? And I think I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm on a 67 or 68 day learning streak. So I'm trying to make it where I listen to it every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm not stopping at 365. Just do it every day. That's how you will learn, because you hear it all over again. Nobody had to tell us back in the day, like, you look fresh, that we not thinking about, like, the mist of groceries or some fruit or something.
No, not at all.
We thought he must got some ill sneaks on and his outfit fresh. You understand what I'm saying?
Talked about it early on, man, on fleek, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying, which means on point. We knew it was on point when they were saying it. But my point is, we hear it so much that we understood because we heard it so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It becomes part of it. Right?
That's what it is. So this is why I'm listening to it on that. But if you ever notice when you're trying to learn something, it makes things complicated. When I was I was looking at YouTube before and researching how to learn, I say Spanish, they were saying other than looking over the softwares and things like that, they said watch your favorite movie in Spanish. Yeah. If you know the words word from word and you listen to it in Spanish, you're gonna say, oh, that means that. Mm-hmm. Because you know the words already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you already seen it in English.
That's what I'm saying,
bro. Yeah, you already know what they're talking about.
I used to know Coming to America word for word.
Okay.
If I watch that in Spanish, I'm going to know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So my thing is, man, just to let y'all know that this has been the Porch Podcast, episode 117. Wi-Fi. I'm just talking about learning curves. Don't get so hung up on it. Just put yourself around it. Put yourself in the environment. Wi-Fi. Do that connection to it. Connect with it. And that's how you get it. And the energy will follow. You know what I mean? But you can hear us on all your favorite podcast and streaming sites. And it will air tonight. That the audio, YouTube, all that's going up tonight.
Did it surprise you or something? Like you was like tonight.
Not Thursday. It's going up tonight.
Yeah, you was like, wait, is it tonight? Like,
yeah, that's this dude right here.
Nah, like he said, he said like we evolving, man. It'll be available tonight, live. We're doing it right now. So if you're watching it right now, this is actually happening right now.
Right now.
And it'll be available
Moonshine
on all of the download streaming services tonight as well.
Absolutely, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna sit up here and fake the funk. Like once we done, E makes all that stuff happen behind the scenes with that. But just to piggyback off of what you were saying, E, before we get ready to get out of here, man. Once again, that Wi-Fi connection. When you look at it from the perspective of, what's on your plate, really evaluate what you got going on in your life, man.
Right.
It's not about being selfish. It's not about not being supportive of other people, because you can do all of those things and not overly extend yourself. But if you make yourself, not a priority,
right,
I guarantee you, the only person that's wasting their time and not tapping into their greatness and not using their gifts to the best of their ability will be you. You got to understand that even if you want to be the everyday hero, the first person you got to save before anything else is yourself.
Right. That's why on the airplane they tell you to fix your mask first before helping somebody else.
Absolutely. And that's why they start everything off with that situation, like he said, like that and any and all these other things that you see where they have these, like he say all the time, risk management plan situations. But the reality of it all is this: is that the great thing about just like your modem, you can hit a reset. If you aren't there and you haven't done it, you can do it.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
And as we sign out, I got some, 3 things to say. Save yourself through good health, right?
Okay.
Say no to blow, right?
You did, man.
Say no to blow. And if you got class and you like to get shit done fast, you got to watch the Porch Podcast. That's your boy,
I like
DJ.
He been trying to get around me, man. He missing that freestyle.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna take us out in the freestyle with no beat. Freestyle on the mouth. Nah. Listen, P, I ain't got no bars tonight. But just know that we gonna do it right.
Hey, yo. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get my health together, eat clean and lean. Just know this was episode 117.
Right.
Of the Porch Podcast.
Right.
Y'all know what it is. I ain't got nothing else to say.
I just appreciate,
get it how you live. That's all
I just appreciate Mr. Charles stopping by to sit in today and share some wisdom. You know what I mean?
Shades.
Yeah, Ray. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad to see that he was able to stop by. But like he said, man, this has been episode 117. Porch Podcast, man. Wi-Fi, man. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. Appreciate the time. Y'all be good, man.
Peace. And E is regular. E is back. I see y'all. Listen, next week. Love y'all, man. All right, man. Peace.